You have to learn AI yourselves. You have to demystify all this knowledge around AI. You have to learn how to build an AI strategy and align it with the business strategy of your company or organization. You have to start thinking of how to upskill your team with AI tools, because a team that is augmented with the AI tools used will produce much better and much faster than a team that doesn't use these tools.
Welcome to Sustainability Transformations Podcast, the show where we explore cutting-edge sustainability topics and their real-world impact. I'm Enoch, and today we are diving into the world of AI and smart cities and how that technology is shaping the future of sustainable urban living. So join us today. We are so proud to have Alaa Dalghan, a leading expert in AI and smart cities, a senior business executive with 18 years of experience in AI, machine learning, IoT, smart cities, specializing in digital transformation, innovation strategies. He has a strong background in strategy, business development, and consulting. Has advised C-level executives across public and private sectors, leveraging emerging technologies for growing. A recognized thought leader and a keynote speaker, and recently a TEDx speaker. And he has incredible global clients from Dubai Future Foundation, Enock, MTN Nigeria, Dell Technologies, and a whole list more. So today we are unpacking that sustainability of AI-driven smart cities, why they matter, how they can help us, whether it's a society sustainability goals or business sustainability goals, and the challenges that we should be aware of. Why should sustainability professionals and business leaders who manage sustainability issues pay particular attention to AI and smart cities?
Enoch, thank you for having me. Happy to be on your podcast. Looking forward to an exciting conversation. Yes, a sustainability expert should look at AI because it's an extra brain, and could be an extra 100 brains or 1,000 brains that he or she will be brainstorming with to solve tactical or strategic problems regarding sustainability. I've been recently reading that very interesting essay by Dario Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic, one of the leading AI labs. He wrote an essay called Machines of Loving Grace. And it was about the upside of AI. And he describes the arrival of general AI, or powerful AI as he calls it, as a country of geniuses inside a data center. Now, imagine if you have a country of geniuses, of Einstein inside a data center, brainstorming with you about any problem. Okay, obviously, you don't expect, immediate magic. But you can bet that a big number of geniuses trying to solve a problem will have a high return on investment or return on intelligence. So if you are a sustainability expert, or if you are an expert in any domain and you want a new perspective on solving problems, but also multiplied by 100 or 1,000 times, AI is the solution for you. And I mentioned a new perspective because AI has what a lot of humans don't have, which is they natively think outside of the box and try to find new solutions rather than just do what humans have been doing for a long period of time.
Yeah, that's very good insight. As you mentioned about the data center, so it turns out the temperature from a sustainability point of view, just to give some insight into what Alaa mentioned, there are some practical challenges, like whether changing the temperature of cooling of a data center by 1 degree at a certain time of the day can save companies energy consumption. And so imagine a person sitting by a desk trying to quantify, but from what you've described, just giving that data center example, the AI can monitor the appropriate timings that if you reduce the temperature or increase it at the appropriate moment. So that surely has a significant impact.
So yes, the data centers are one of the biggest drawbacks of these huge, massive data centers that are used to train AI and for AI inferencing. They call them AI factories. One of their biggest drawbacks is how energy hungry they are. Elon Musk's Colossus AI factory has more than 150,000 GPUs. Facebook has more than 300,000. Microsoft has more than 150,000, and they have 1.8 million GPUs being ordered. Think of Google, think of Amazon, think of all those big companies racing to build these massive data centers. Yes, we will get good AI out of it, intelligent AI. The drawback is they are very energy hungry. They spend a lot of energy. Most of this energy is spent on cooling, but a lot of it as well is spent on the GPU because the GPUs require a massive amount of power. This is one of the drawbacks of the AI revolution. Now, as you mentioned, a short-term solution or a tactical solution could be using an intelligent system to, and you don't need an AI for this, just regular automation, to control cooling, to do some clever tricks here and there. But this is not a fundamental solution, Enock. A fundamental solution, in my opinion, is to move away from the fossil fuels that are being burned to power these massive data centers. This is what everybody in the world is thinking about right now. It doesn't seem to be a solution on the short term, but there are definitely solutions on the mid to long terms. Even if solar and those types of clean energies are not ready yet to supply massive data centers and AI factories, the obvious answer would be nuclear. So you will start finding and reading in the news that most of these big players are planning to build their own nuclear reactors to power these data centers. And I think this is a good thing. Nuclear is renewable, nuclear is clean, and despite few very famous and very unfortunate tragedies throughout the years with Chernobyl, with Fukushima, nuclear is still one of our best bets to power these data centers in a clean way.
The amount of energy which is required is shaping the discussions around, these AI systems are hungry for energy, and how do we bring in a diversity of supply from nuclear, solar? So where, apart from the data centers within cities like urban environments, would AI-powered systems also help? I know you've mentioned about the data center, but are there any other smart city applications, AI applications could help?
Absolutely. So if we solve that issue of power-hungry AI factories, then from there on, there are many upsides to AI providing solutions for day-to-day problems in cities. My top pick would be solving traffic and solving pollution. Obviously, there are many other things that you can think of, from water management to sewage, all sorts of urban problems and city management problems will benefit from a multiple order of magnitude increase of intelligence that the AI will give us. My top two would be solving traffic and solving pollution. I would give you a couple of examples. Many cities have already started using AI systems to monitor traffic and predict traffic. There's an AI system installed on the Nippon Highway in Japan, and it takes short videos of what the highway looks like every time of the day, okay? Every few minutes, every 5 minutes. So it's morning versus evening, it's Mondays versus, Tuesdays, it's summertime versus wintertime, it's weekends versus weekdays, rush hours versus regular hours. And it collects all of these huge amount of videos, and it learns from them when a traffic could start accumulating. And then, based on all of what it learned, it starts monitoring the real-time traffic. And whenever the same circumstances that led to a traffic jam in its training data starts happening and starts aligning, it predicts that there will be a traffic jam on this highway in the next hour or in the next 2 hours. So city planners can immediately act on that, or the system automatically act on that by rerouting the traffic to other exits to less congested roads. You couldn't have done this without an AI system that is dynamic, that looks and learns and studies and extracts intelligence from its environment.
Could that perhaps go into a segue of autonomous vehicles, which has been promised? Is it safe to say those are AI-powered vehicles where it can reroute, or that is a subset of these AI applications? So, from a sustainability point of view, how these autonomous vehicles, they can self-drive the cars, but the reason they're able to self-drive these cars is because, like the explanation you've given, models have been trained so they know when to stop, when there are dangers around roundabouts, traffic lights, and so on. So clearly, it looks like not only that scenario can save greenhouse gas emissions if the AI-powered vehicle is able to manage the routing in such a way that, for example, if an AI-powered vehicle was delivering for Amazon or another big company, the AI-powered vehicle perhaps would travel, let's say, 60 miles in that delivery journey, whereas a human being would have traveled 100 miles. So if you subtract that 60 from the 100 miles, that 40 is a saving. So clearly just expanding on the example that you've given.
You gave a great example. The electric vehicles / autonomous vehicles are the perfect example that combines together AI, the AI story, and the sustainability story. Okay? Very few autonomous vehicles are petrol powered. You can't, they don't have to be. You can conceivably design a petrol-powered vehicle that has autonomy, but the entire trend of autonomous vehicles is 90% or more EVs. Whether you look at Tesla, whether you look at Waymo, whether you look at BYD, whether you look at all the Chinese manufacturers, everybody is building AVs that are also EVs. So it's very clear that this is a perfect example of how AI and sustainability go hand in hand. By solving EVs and spreading EVs all over the world, this will play a big role in diminishing greenhouse gas emissions and pollution. But also, autonomy on its own, even without the environmental aspect, will help reduce traffic, because it's much better to have a bunch of cars coordinating among themselves and diminishing the probability of traffic jams than having people with all their emotions and all their road rage. Just imagine, apart from reducing pollution, the effect of reducing stress in your and my daily commute if we're just sitting in the background enjoying a podcast or working on our emails while the car takes us from point A to point B. You, I think, chose the perfect example, AV/EV.
That's good. So I know we looked at the smart cities, but from a business setting, if we focus on the environment of AI application for businesses based on perhaps the training you've done with AI systems for businesses or the insights, what are some of the key areas for businesses, perhaps more AI applications, which could help in the applications of businesses, whether it's operation, if you've got any other insight which could help for the listeners?
Well, the first thing I always tell my clients is AI is not new. It's true that generative AI is new, like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Copilot, and others. It was invented in 2017. It became mainstream in 2022 on November 30th when ChatGPT was released. So generative AI is new, but AI itself is not new. So traditional AI, or trad AI for short, has been maturing for the past decades and became mainstream in enterprises, in large enterprises in the mid-2000s, specifically numerical or analytical AI, and in the early 2010s, 2012, specifically vision AI or vision models. You also have at the same time the rise of gaming models, biological models like AlphaFold that solved the protein folding problems and got Demis Hassabis and the DeepMind team a Nobel Prize 3 months ago. But back to your question, now that we've established that AI is not new and trad AI has already been mature in enterprises, how are businesses using AI to solve their problems? I will give you multiple examples. Number one, predictive analytics. If you have a lot of data about the performance of your company for the past years, and you want to predict that same performance for the next few quarters, AI does that for you. Number two, segmentation. If you are a, let's say, telecom operator, and you have tens of millions of subscribers, AI can look at the behavior and history of these subscribers and then divide them into different groups and then draw circles around each groups and color them. And then AI will go and tell you, this group is most likely to churn. So go quick, do something to keep them. This group is your most loyal customers. So just maintain this relationship, give them rewards. That group has a 90% chance of buying this bundle if you just pitch it. So AI can help a lot in that. It also can help in fraud detection. If you're a bank, banks have been using AI for fraud detection for the past decade. It's a mature application now. If you was traveling in Prague a couple of years ago and used my Dubai-issued credit card in a coffee shop there, and in 20 seconds I received a phone call from my Dubai-based bank telling me, Mr. Dalghan, your card is being used in Prague. Is this you or is this a hack? And I said, no, it's me, thank you. So AI combined with streaming analytics or real-time analytics is the only way that you can do this application, which is detect the potential of fraud while it's happening, not after the fact. And those are only examples in soft industries, right? If you go to hard industries such as factories, oil and gas, AI is being used for machine downtime prediction, okay? It's called condition-based monitoring. It's being used for camera-based defects identification, manufacturing defects identification. The new generative AI tools are started to being used in customer support. You will see them more and more being used as coders, virtual coders or programmers. And once this new trends of agents matures, you will start seeing virtual employees, which are AI agents, acting all across the organization. Exciting times we're living in, Enock.
Absolutely. I could relate with practical examples of that predictive analysis. If you have a customer service agent where a customer asks for a request, but say the request can't be done today on a Friday, but the request has to be done in a future date. That future date, that customer support agent is on holiday. The AI can then alert, but there are so many instances where because one person was not in work, that could then escalate into various complaints.
What's on?
Anytime I discuss sustainability business case, key themes that comes out is employee engagement, where a lot of companies pay thousands of pounds or dollars or currency in the local in attracting talent. And then there is so much news about people not staying long in companies. From the incoming and the output of employees, there is less engagement. Hopefully, we can tease out a bit more around those performance-related issues, which will become more objective, because at the moment it's quite subjective about performance management within companies, whether promotion or employment.
Yes. AI in human resources is a peculiar one. It's a special use case because I am for it in some cases and against it in other cases. If you want to do recruitment decisions or at least an initial filtering of CVs, it has been demonstrated that AI can do less biased work or unbiased work compared to humans. Sometimes humans, while they are filtering a large number of applicants in the first stage, they will kick out some CVs because of their personal internal biases. If you let an AI do these first step filtering rather than humans, you can make the AI do a better decision without biases, because you can remove biases from AI using reinforcement learning, using other methods. So it could be more fair and equitable in filtering the applicants. That said, if you arrive to the actual stages of interviews, I started seeing some companies pitching an AI avatar HR person interviewing the applicants. I am personally, and this is a personal opinion, against this. I prefer, when it comes to the actual hiring decision, that it's not going to be the AI who makes the decision, that it's a human who conducts the interview, and the human who assisted with an AI doing the analytics and the minutes of meeting and the summarization. But it's only fair that it should be a human-based decision whether to finally hire you or not hire you.
That is a good segue to go into the challenges, the ethics, and the emerging trends. You've explained a good part of those fundamental challenges. At what point do you bring in AI tool, and at what point do you bring people, and how to make sure it's more people-centered based on the explanation you've just given?
There are dozens. One of my keynote speeches is just 45 minutes listing and discussing the different challenges and threats of AI. So I would start, with the less dangerous ones. I don't want to go to the existential ones. Will AI take over the world? Will AI kill us all? Let's talk about the more practical ones at the business level, at the economy level, at the day-to-day level. One of the first challenges and threats would be deep fakes. Now that everybody in the world has access to easily fake videos, get ready for a flood of fake videos all over the internet. Now, obviously, there are solutions to this. You can regulate that large AI labs add a signature or a watermark to every video or photo produced by their AI saying this was produced by AI. But this doesn't solve the issue of doing these deep fakes using open source AI models. There are also other solutions, such as developing an AI that can detect a fake video produced by AI. This also is a possible solution. We don't know. Everything is still in its infancy. But that's one challenge, deep fakes. Another challenge will be fake news. AI can spread and augment fake news. So you get yourself, surrounded with a barrage of news where you don't know what's true and what's not true. A third challenge would be copyright issues. And this is now being discussed and debated in multiple jurisdictions all around the world. If I used DALL-E to create a painting, do I owe money, or should I owe money to the millions of people whose drawings and paintings on the internet were used to train this AI software, DALL-E, on how to generate images? I mean, these are not easy questions. We have already established that if Enock is an artist and produced multiple images, and Alaa used one of his images in Alaa's PowerPoint presentations or marketing brochure, then Alaa owes Enock money, right? But we have not established that instead of Alaa using directly Enock's art, if he just takes these art and uses them to train an AI software on how to generate new and fresh art, and this AI now generates new paintings completely different than the ones that Enock painted, does Alaa still owe Enock money? All these questions of copyright, questions of style plagiarism, they're being debated all around the world. If I copied your painting, then this is plagiarism. This is very well understood. But if I asked my AI, draw me a painting that has this and that and that in the style of Enock, okay? Is this fair? A lot of questions are being debated in regulations rooms, in lawyers' rooms, offices all around the world as we speak.
These are practical challenges, which perhaps on another podcast we can explore from an educational, how that is going to disrupt the educational sector because of how the model of teaching students in traditional colleges and universities. And I suppose that brings it to your AI training as well. So how do you see the mindset shift of the AI training you provide and the traditional in, say, computing systems?
So are these big AI companies demanding and hungry for more and more data scientists and AI engineers? Absolutely. There's a mismatch between supply and demand in the number of data scientists, data engineers, and AI engineers and developers, not only for the big companies, even here in Dubai, in all over the UAE, in the GCC in general, everywhere I go, there's more demand for AI talent than the market has to offer. How will this translate to universities? I think universities must immediately start offering AI and data science and data engineering curriculum that builds a larger talent pool and starts feeding this large demand in the market for AI talent. In addition to technical AI education to supply more data scientists and AI engineers to the market, there should also be a general AI education. AI is important to be learned not just by technical engineers who will work to create these systems and maintain them, but for everybody. AI is a tool that will change the way we live and the way we work, so we must all learn it. Remember how in the early 2000s, few people in the world knew how to do a Google search. And now, I would easily say 90+% of the people on this planet can do a Google search. This is what AI will be. It will be a tool that anybody in the world can use it. And the way you talk or you interact with these AI tools is through prompts. And that's why the name prompt engineering was created. Now, I have an issue with the name prompt engineering. I don't like it. I hate it, in fact, because it scares people away because it has the word engineering in it. People think that I have to have an engineering degree to learn prompt engineering. And I always tell my clients and my students that's not true. Prompt engineering should have been called prompt design or effective prompting. And prompt engineering, unfortunately, I still have to use this name because that's what's the name that everybody calls it in the market. Everybody can learn prompt engineering. You can teach it to your 5-year-old child and you can teach it to your 105-year-old grandmother. It's very easy to learn. You can learn it with a simple rule of thumb, which is role, context, task. I explained this in my course. I explained this in my classes. And we taught this in the 1 Million Prompters initiative that I co-created with Dubai Future Forum. And it's teaching people all around the world how to use prompt engineering. So prompt engineering is a skill that everybody can learn, but it's also a skill that everybody should learn. And that's the second angle of education, which is everybody should be educated on using these AI tools in their day-to-day life, even if they are not in a technical or engineering or data science role.
Oh, that's great. In fact, you've answered one of the common misconceptions. I was going to ask whether AI was just for the rich or the affluent, but from what you've explained, just as the search is now a common skill that everyone needs to do their job. Fast forward to 2025, what one innovation are you most excited if you're using the crystal ball to look into the future, which I know is a very difficult thing to do?
I'm very excited about the problems and the discoveries, the problems that AI will solve and the discoveries that AI will make specifically in the area of human health, whether it's biology or whether it's neuroscience. I am, as you mentioned, nobody has a crystal ball, but we have enough knowledge to just make an educated guess and predict how the curve is going. And the way the curve is going is the biggest applications and the most impactful applications of AI in the next decade will be biological health, and there will be neuroscience. You can start by just thinking what AlphaFold did, right? So for those in your audience who don't know what AlphaFold is, Demis Hassabis and Mustafa Sulaiman created DeepMind in 2009. They started building AI that can play games. They built an AI that can play the game of Go, which is a game very popular in Korea, China, Japan, East Asia. And then that software was able to beat the 18 times world champion Lee Sedol in 2015, 4-1. Yeah, there's a documentary about this online. It's free on YouTube. It's called the AlphaGo documentary. Brilliant video documentary. I recommend it. So after that, they readjusted the code. They stopped playing games and they took the same code of AlphaGo and they readjusted it to create a new software called AlphaFold, trying to solve an old problem in biology called the protein folding problem. So proteins are a main building block of life. Proteins are existing in every single cell, and some of them fight viruses and some of them transport energy, and they're super important. They also fold geometrically in different ways. Scientists wanted since 50 years to create a log, a record, a register that maps every protein folding structure to its function. That was the dream. The problem is building this register is very slow because to map one protein, you need 3 to 5 years with 1 PhD and 2 graduate students. And we have 200 million proteins in the world, Enoch. So there is no way humans can do that. AlphaFold instead was able to do all this in few years. In July 2022, they finished mapping the entire 200 million proteins that are all the proteins known in any living organism on this small planet we call Earth. And they uploaded all of this information for free, folders of the World Health Organization, and they made it available to all scientists in the world. So now we have more chances to create better vaccines, better antibodies, medications. And if this is just one, and by the way, Demis Hassabis was awarded a Nobel Prize for chemistry 3 months ago, the first ever time in history where a coder, a programmer, gets awarded a Nobel Prize for chemistry. But if this is just an indication of things to come, you can only imagine a 10x smarter AI, or what Dario Amodei calls a country of geniuses inside the data center. You can only imagine the amount of breakthrough that we will do in medicine. Think of the neurological diseases like Alzheimer and Parkinson's disease and all of these difficult problems that we are too slow, progressing on them too slow, and imagine a 10x or a 100x increase in our speed of solving them because of AI. I think the probability of that happening is a reasonable, serious probability in the next 10 years.
It's quite promising to see that as technologies advance, there are going to be opportunities with these inventions. So any final words of advice for policymakers, businesses, or individuals? It might be a young student learning about sustainability or AI. Any final words of advice for policymakers and these key stakeholders, how they can use AI-driven tools?
Learning AI. It's not difficult to learn. Don't be scared. Don't think that this is something that only a 4 years engineering degree can learn. Everybody can learn using AI tools in their day-to-day office work and in their day-to-day life. So if you work in an office or if you work in the field, start downloading one of these AI apps, free AI apps, on your phone, and start talking with your AI assistant, start assigning tasks to your AI assistant, start brainstorming, ideating, researching with your AI assistant, and learn how to talk to them. For policymakers, it's the same advice. Start educating, getting more and more educated on AI, on the promises and opportunities and upside that AI presents, but also on the risks and threats and challenges that AI presents. Because in an ideal result from regulators, we want regulations that are innovation friendly and business friendly, but also protects us from the dangers. We don't want, if I would be advising regulators in our part of the world who are very innovation friendly and business friendly, I would say we don't want, as loose regulations as, say, in the United States around AI, but we don't want as harsh regulations as they have in the EU around AI that is absolutely killing any innovation and any advances in the world of AI. Striking this balance is essential. It's easier said than done. I'm not saying these regulators have an easy job, but it's imperative that we get this right. We want the progress, we want the innovation, we want the upside, maximize it while minimizing the downside.
That's great. A powerful call to action, which these variety of stakeholders who are listening, policy makers, businesses, and individuals. So, thank you.
Businesses. Let me just add this one to CXOs, leaders of organizations, whether in the public sector or in the private sector. You have to learn AI yourselves. You have to demystify all this knowledge around AI. You have to learn how to build an AI strategy and align it with the business strategy of your company or organization. And you have to start thinking of how to upskill your team with AI tools, because a team that is augmented with the AI tools used will produce much better and much faster than a team that doesn't use these tools. And finally, AI is one tool in your tool belt as a leader.
The augmentation aspect surely helps, whether using external teams and internal teams, and how to make sure the performances are achieved. So huge thank you to Alaa Dalghan for sharing these incredible insights. It's been fascinating learning the various aspects from the smart cities as we started through the AI applications for businesses and even for learners like myself, as I alluded to, from a sustainability point of view, how to implement all the opportunities. There is the health looking forward, but also policymakers not to be too strict with the policies, but also allowing innovation to be able to flourish, which also helps creating jobs and opportunities. If our listeners want to learn more about your incredible work, when I gave the intro, the number of organizations, MTN and the other key companies you work for, where can they find you, Alaa?
They can find me on LinkedIn, Alaa Dalghan, Dalghan. They can also find me on Instagram at AI with Alaa. That's ALAA, AI with Alaa.
Thank you so much. I'll share the social handles that Alaa shared. So if you look in the description, you should be able to easily access that. So be sure to follow us on the Sustainability Transformation Podcast and subscribe for more of these deep dives into the future of sustainability and as we've learned of AI. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Enoch. That was very enjoyable.
That's great.